the family Clinton has emerged, Chelsea and Bill, and you see the candidate Hillary Clinton. Let's hear what she has to say about her second place finish tonight in New Hampshire.
Thank you all very, very much. My goodness. I don't know what we'd have done tonight if we'd actually won. This is a pretty exciting event, and I'm very grateful to all of you. I want to begin by congratulating Senator Sanders on his victory tonight, and I want to thank each and every one of you, and I want to say I still love New Hampshire, and I always will. And here's what we're going to do. Now we take this campaign to the entire country. We are going to fight for every vote in every state. We're going to fight for real solutions that make a real difference in people's lives. You know, when I started this campaign last spring, I knew we were facing profound challenges as a country. The way too many things were going just wasn't right. It isn't right that the kids I met in Flint were poisoned because their governor wanted to save money. It isn't right for a grandmother here in New Hampshire or anywhere else to have to choose between paying rent and buying medicine because a prescription drug company increased the price 4,000% overnight. And it isn't right that a cashier that I met here in New Hampshire's son is paid less than her son for doing the same work, even though she's been on the job for more years. Now, people have every right to be angry, but they're also hungry. They're hungry for solutions. What are we going to do? And that is the fight we're taking to the country. What is the best way to change people's lives so we can all grow together? Who is the best change maker? And here's what I promise. Here's what I promise. I will work harder than anyone to actually make the changes that make your lives better. In this campaign, you've heard a lot about Washington and about Wall Street. Now, Senator Sanders and I both want to get secret, unaccountable money out of politics. And let's remember, Citizens United, one of the worst Supreme Court decisions in our country's history, was actually a case about a right-wing attack on me and my campaign. A right-wing organization took aim at me and ended up damaging our entire democracy. So yes, you're not going to find anybody more committed to aggressive campaign finance reform than me. We also agree that Wall Street can never be allowed to once again threaten Main Street. And I will fight to rein in Wall Street. And you know what? I know how to do it. So when I tell you, no bank can be too big to fail and no executive too powerful to jail, you can count on it. Now, the real differences in this race are truly over how do we create a future of prosperity, opportunity, and security for all of us. We need to build a growth and fairness economy with higher wages and more good-paying jobs, including a bold national mission to create millions of jobs in clean energy, manufacturing, and infrastructure. And we need to unleash again the innovation of our entrepreneurs and small businesses, make it easier for parents to balance work and family, close the loopholes in our tax code, crack down on corporations that game the system, stop other countries from taking advantage of us with unfair trade practices. But even all that is not enough. We also have to break through the barriers of bigotry. African American parents shouldn't have to worry that their children will be harassed, humiliated, even shot because of the color of their skin. Immigrant families.
Hillary Clinton offering her concession speech in New Hampshire tonight. But John Gizzi, as I just listened to Hillary, it's not so much a concession speech as it is turn the page. Let's go on to South Carolina. And oh, yes, invoking what she called unfair treatment of African-American children. I believe, if I heard this correctly, at the hands of police. Let me ask you this, John. Will, in your opinion, do you think we are going to see changes tomorrow in Hillary's campaign team? Been a lot of rumors that there may be changes within that organization in terms of the campaign management.
Oh, yes, and I think she will follow in the footsteps of Ronald Reagan, who changed his campaign after winning New Hampshire in 1980. She will change after losing it, and that may mean that people at the top must go. For now, I think that Senator Sanders should consider suing her for copyright infringement after a speech in which she invokes so many themes of the Vermont senator, ranging from Wall Street and Main Street to the Citizens United case, right down the line. She's taking pages from his book, and that's how she plans to win, running to his left.
All right, John, we appreciate that. We're going to listen a little bit more to what Hillary is saying tonight in New Hampshire. John, we'll talk to you again in about an hour. Let's go back to Hillary Clinton's concession remarks tonight in New Hampshire.
Quality education, or who face abuse or abandonment, that diminishes all of us. That's why I did start my career at the Children's Defense Fund. That's why I went undercover in Alabama to expose racism in schools. That's why I worked to reform juvenile justice in South Carolina. And that is why I went to Flint, Michigan on Sunday. When people anywhere in America are held back by injustice, that demands action. That is why I believe so strongly that we have to keep up with every fiber of our being the argument for, the campaign for human rights as women's rights, human rights as gay rights, human rights as worker rights, human rights as voting rights, human rights across the board for every single American. Now that is who I am. That is what I've always done. That is why I am in this race. I know I have some work to do, particularly with young people, but I will repeat again what I have said.
We are having some trouble with the signal, but we got the basic tone, tenor, and flavor of Mrs. Clinton's remarks with Dick Morris, J.D. Hayworth here. Dick, your reaction to Hillary's concession speech?
Well, the interesting thing about it is that the issues that Bernie Sanders will talk about in his victory speech, and Hillary parroted him talking about in her concession speech, had nothing to do with why people voted against Hillary. They voted against Hillary because they think she's a liar and they don't trust her. And the overwhelming negative on her is that. And even in a Democratic primary, it's that. So when she goes out and says, I'm almost as good as Sanders is on the issues, that's irrelevant. And by the way, it's non-credible that she will be as aggressive on banks who she takes millions from as opposed to Sanders, who takes nothing from them. It all fades the credibility gap. But Bernie is too restrained and polite to mention, and Hillary is too unable to mention the elephant in the room, which is nobody believes whatever Hillary says. And this is something she's largely done to herself. Others haven't done it. She can blame the Republicans, but they're not the ones who dictated that she have a private email server. They're not the ones who made her take all these speaking fees. So the point is that she cannot address, cannot deal with, and can't overcome the fundamental issue, which is we don't trust her.